Hey guys, welcome back to the Brussels attacks hoax, the biblical perspective. Now, even if you're not biblically inclined, you will still get something out of this if you have the eyes to see, as they say. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I've found something that's pretty alarming, if not to be expected from the Christian perspective, encoded into these attacks. And what I've noticed is the number 34 and 14 are being pushed in front of our faces. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through exactly where I found it, how I found it, what it means, and I'm going to bring in some news articles, a little bit of video. I'm going to show you the Freemason Code. We're going to go through, oddly enough, the new Batman and Superman trailer. We're going to go through the names of the alleged bombers themselves. And we're also going to touch on why everyone keeps mentioning Starbucks. Because I'm sure that if you've been taking note, not just in this one, in other ones as well, other events, that Starbucks is always mentioned, which is a little bit odd. We're going to bring in a few quotes from the Bible, a little bit of numerology and gematria, and we're going to tie it all together, and in the end you're going to realise why I've put all this together, and you're going to be presented to something that is pretty alarming, at least through the eyes of a Christian. And to be honest, if you understand what's happening in the world through the eyes of anyone that isn't a Christian as well. Right then, so we'll start with, first of all, with some of the newspaper, well, not the newspaper, the internet articles. Okay, this one was taken from the BBC. Now, if it's looking a little bit odd, it's because I've saved them to Pocket. If I just do view original, there you go, it comes up. All I've done, I've saved it to something called Pocket, just for ease of reference. It's easy to file it and pull it out whenever. Okay. So March 23rd, straight away, 34 dead. Fair enough. That was the number that they said was dead, so it doesn't seem that odd. But bear with me, we'll get to that. And here it says 250 wounded. Later, in a later article, we'll see that figure changes, and I'll explain why. Okay, so we've got the 34 there. When we come down here, we've got the 14. Okay, now, always in these articles or the news reels, whatever, with these fake events, there's going to be the Masonic mark. And that mark is always the number 33. There are other numbers of importance that they use, but we're not going to go into that. We're just going to pull out all the number 33s, show you where they are, and then at the end of this video, which might run into part 2 or even 3, I'm going to explain the reason for 34 and 14 being put in front of your face. So first of all, we'll drag out the dreaded numerology calculator. Okay, pull it out. Zaventem. As you can see, Zaventem totals 34. Okay, so we've also got 34 code within the letters as well, which is probably why this place was used, which you'll come to understand at the end of this presentation. Okay, now as well as the 34 up here and the 14 down here, you've also got to take note of the guy's age, 27. Which can also be construed as 2 sevens, which is 14, so again, you've got another 14 code. Okay, so now we move to an article from the Daily Mail, and straight away, 34, okay, and you move down here and you've got the 14 again. Now that doesn't seem too unreasonable, as I've said before, because that's how many people they're alleging were killed in this incident. But as you'll see in a bit, those numbers do change a touch, and I'll explain why, and I'll put it all together at the end, so just bear with me. We're just going to get some examples of the 34 and 14 code, just to show that it's across the board, and it's not just one or two outlets that are saying this. Right then guys, we're now with the Guardian, and this is to do with the men found in the top floor flat who sowed terror in Brussels. Okay, there was a little video of the orange banded military going into again alleged terrorist. Okay, but what I want to bring your attention, top floor flat in Schaerbeek maybe. We're going to get the dreaded numerology calculator out to take a look at that, and we're also going to take a look at this paragraph here. And as you can see, Schaerbeek, where the top floor flat was, 33 numerology. Okay then guys, now you'll notice here that they're saying 31 were allegedly killed and 270 injured, as opposed to 34 and 250. And you've also again got the 27. Okay, so straight off the bat, two 7s is 14, and in numerology you ignore the 0, so you've got the 2 7s, 14 again. So now what's this 31 all about? Why is that not 34? Because I did say that 34 and 14 were the two numbers that have been thrown at us. So once again, let's take a look at the numerology calculator. Right, now as you can see, when you actually write out 31 into the numerology calculator, you get 34. So yeah, the number may have been 31, but if you write out in numerology, it is also 34. Right, so in this this article, they've given us 270 injured, which was different before, which is 14, and 31 allegedly killed instead of 34, but 31 written out is also 34. Okay, now right, we're here with the Independent now, and it's 31 again, which we've just determined. Typed out is 34. And move down here, you got the 14 again. Okay, now we're back with an article from Hart. Not sure what that is, but still. 14 killed and 31, which of course is 34 in numerology. Hey guys, now we're with CNN Wire and Fox43.com, and you'll see right in the first paragraph we've got the 31 and 270, which is again another slight variation, so that's still 34, and there's your 2 7s for 14. And also incidentally, we just put Belgium into the calculator, it's 33. This is why Belgium was chosen for this event, and many others. Right, so now we have an Irish publication, and they're saying 34 and 14, and we obviously have a variation on the wounded, which is 230, which in essence is 2 3s, which is 33. Alright, so now we're back with the Telegraph. Okay, first of all, we got the 31, which we've determined is 34. But if you come down here, the only age of any of these suspects that's mentioned is this guy's, who's 31. Okay. I know here, Salah Abdeslam, this is him allegedly getting arrested. And we'll be going into this photograph later on. And of course the Batman, Superman poster at the end. But incidentally, Salah in numerology is 14. Okay, so now with the Mail Online, Daily Mail, and if we just come down here, okay, the first thing I saw, 13, being the Luciferians, they flip things around and do things upside down, so that also can become a 31, which we've determined is a 34. Now when I was coming down here, this character's name caught my eye, because I've seen his name before, and I know exactly the value of this man's name in numerology, but we'll take a look. And as you can see, the counter-terrorist expert from the UK, Mark Rowley, 33. Okay. Now the other thing I've been noticing, besides these two numbers, oddly enough, is the fact that a lot of newspapers and articles online have been mentioning this place, St Pancras Station, London. Okay, now obviously the incident happened in Brussels, so you'd think they'd be focusing on Brussels. Now, clearly there's been disruptions here as well due to the inverted commas event. But I've seen it in a lot of clippings, so we're just going to pull out a few of them as well, just to show that it's not just a one-off, and it is in quite a few. And again, as I say, at the end of the video, we'll bring it all together. Okay, now, so we're here with the standard, straight away, 34. But, what's all that about? April 13th, 2016. April 13th is 43. And as I've said before, you can flip that round and that becomes another 34. Okay, so there's 34s and 14s all through this. See your 34 there. You got your 77 for 14. Salah, 14, 34, 77s. You got okay, Mark Rowley again, 33. And here, sniffer dogs at St Pancras Station. Again, sure, there's going to be a knock-on effect, but why would they mention it again? Okay, so here we are with London24.com. Terror attacks, Belgium Eurostar. Straight away again, St Pancras International Station to Brussels. Fair enough, it goes to Brussels, but so do lots of other places. I just wanted to show you that this has been covered in more than one, in fact several publications online and offline. Right, so the whole premise about this part 1 video was simply to show you that 34, 14 and St Pancras in London has been put before our eyes pretty much more than anything else that I can see. We will be going through other variations and things later on, but for this particular series we concentrate on 34, 14 and St Pancras International. This will all come together at the end of the series. I urge you to stick around because it is, well, it's stunning, to be honest. I don't want to, well, it actually really disturbed me, but hey, you might not have the eyes to see, but stick around and we'll move on to part 2.